how would you define awe? Like I'm in awe of something. I was listening to I can't remember if it was a audio book or a podcast, but it was a conversation, and this one psychologist was talking about awe and how one of the things that instills awe is to go from a narrow view up to a wide. So for example, skiing in Greenland, it would be looking down a lot of hours a day and then kind of looking up and getting the wider view. So in my notes, I'm just downloading some notes now for the first time. I have an idea of photographically how you can apply that into your creative work, right? How you go from a very narrow focused view to opening up. The one example I always use is I remember getting to the Grand Canyon for the first time and walking from the South Room parking lot, and then you walk through this kind of clearing and then suddenly it's just there and it opens up. So the idea of awe in your life is a pretty interesting one. The reason for this video and for that is I'm slowly starting to reach out again. I'm going to answer some messages this morning, get into email, not working yet, only coaching again from Monday, but just some thoughts downloading. I've had a lot of time on my head, but this idea of awe is an interesting one, especially with people looking at depression, anxiety, overthinking is narrow to wide. Different discussion for another time. The other theme that, and I mentioned that just before I went as well, I think in a video, was one of the biggest things that gets us overthinking and anxious is what if? What if I fuck up my presentation? What if my boss is upset with me? What if she doesn't like me? What if I'm not good enough? What if, right? And that gives the brain a lot to bite onto. It's like, what if that issue comes back? What if this doesn't get resolved? And the biggest reframe on what if is what is. What if versus what is if you're going down a rabbit hole about what if this happens, what if that happens, it's going to be bad. Focus on the now and figure out what is now. What is in my control now? What is something I can do now in order to manage the what if? So those two themes, just this morning of busy downloading notes, those two popped up. And yeah, yesterday I felt very disconnected from life. It was, if you've seen Marvel's Avengers, there's one scene where the Hulk goes to see one of those Oracle people and he needs to ask her for the Infinity Stone or something. And she like punches him on his chest and his soul or his kind of personality pulls out and he's like out watching everything. Felt like that. Not the Hulk, just the disconnect part. But it's fine. I wrote a piece about it on my Substack. Please go and check it out. Go and subscribe. That's where I'm going to be posting a lot, there and here on YouTube. And the idea of being disconnected is actually pretty cool. It gives me space, gives me time to process. And it's not a bad thing once in a while. So it's Friday today. I'm just slowly getting into some messages and stuff for an hour or so. Then take the rest of the week or Friday and the weekend off. Just manage the feet, manage headspace, kind of slowly start training again. And I thought just as a wrap up to this video, a lot of people have been asking about the feet. What's the easiest way to say it? It's not great. No. So I went to the podiatrist yesterday and there's an inflammation of a nerve between the third and the fourth toe underneath. And there's apparently 3 nerves that comes together. There's a sheath around it. This thing's inflamed. So it should be 1 millimeter minus 6. So it's 6 times as swollen. So there's 6 times as much pressure on the nerve. Now that nerve in particular manages blood flow and movement and feeling in the front half of the toes and front half of the foot and the toes. That's on my left foot. The right foot about 4.5 times the size it should be. My little pinky toe on the left has got a lot of bruising and potentially some cold damage, but we can't assess cold damage yet because there's too much color from the bruising, right? So that's there. Also, above my heel pad, there's a bit of inflammation through the plantar fasciitis, so to speak, but that I can deal with. There's cupping and fascial work I can do on that. So currently on heavy anti-inflammatories. I'm going to Svalbard tomorrow in a week, so I can't have anything else done. When I come back then, I'm going to have, now if you know me, injections in myself don't work well together. Also, if you know me, don't touch my feet. They've always been sensitive. I'm going to have to get steroid and cortisone injections into my foot, into this fucking nerve. Already have anxiety about that. What if? And so that's when I come back from Svalbard. That should last for about 6 months. If it doesn't, then we're going to do a cut and then they burn the nerve, either cryo or they heat this thing up. So yeah, I'm hoping it works, but it is what it is. What else? I mean, fingers are, there's a little bit of kind of skin, what do you call it? Verval in Afrikaans. Is when the skin comes off a bit just because of all the cold and the kind of frost nip, if you will. Not a problem. Nose is almost better. Still a bit sensitive. Body's tired. I had the weirdest thing on the trip. My tongue, and some other people confirmed, my tongue went like sore on the front. And I don't know if it's breathing cold air a lot, but that was interesting. Lips also took a bit of battering. I think it's better now. But I still have this weird waxy feeling in my mouth. Now, I don't know if this is from the cold. I've done some reading. It's lineal Raymond's phenomenon or something. Hoping that goes away. I had quite a bit of chafing here because of my Garmin and walking. So there's a lot of little niggles. But again, every sport has its injuries. I'm happy for it. It's a receipt I got from the expedition that I have to pay, and I'm more than happy to pay it. And at the same time, thinking what's next. But that's a discussion for another time. So anyway, just a quick Friday video to check in. The two themes, what if versus what is. Think about it. If you ask yourself, what if this goes wrong? What is something you could do now? And on the other side is the awe. Go and look out awe. It's one of the things that literally speaks to positivity and gratitude in life. Normally in nature, it's easy, but still, I think in photography, there's a creative thing bubbling here that I think I'm going to start doing, maybe a new presentation on this, how to create awe in your photography by using those perspectives. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope you guys are well. Thanks for all the messages. Thanks for the support. I'm going to start getting back now. Only back on Monday from a coaching point of view, and then off to Svalbard on Saturday next week. I'm going to be doing a map again for Svalbard this time. More photography. I'm going to be doing some videos on there. Same as the Greenland map, which is on my website if you want to go and check it post. jerryvanderwalt.com/Greenland. And I'll be making that Svalbard page next week as well, where you can follow along on the photo tour. But that's it for now. This was about coffee number 5 for today. I'll chat to you next week. Bye.